In this modern day world, filled with technology and distractions, it's difficult to find someone you can trust. When you need a lawyer, you don't want a stranger, you want someone you believe in. Dan, you haven't always been an attorney, correct?
Correct. After I went through undergrad school, I went right into the insurance industry. Worked in that for the better part of 20 years, and my business unit actually was sold. So at that point, I decided I always wanted to be a lawyer, so I went to law school then.
What type of law did you initially practice?
Family law. And after a few years of doing family law, I finally had enough of doing that.
What really pushed you towards personal injury work?
Pete knew I was a biker, knew I
Sure.
loved to ride a bike. He goes, what we do is we are actually making money doing our hobby a lot of the times. And I finally said, yeah, the hell with it. I'm going to do it. I went along and I have not looked back. It's been awesome.
So, over all the choices you could have made, you've got your law degree, you're credentialed, you've been in the field for a minute. Why the biker lawyers over any other law firm?
You know, it's a culture thing. What we do, who our clientele is, our target market, it's what we enjoy. It's people we enjoy being around within the biker community. They have a need for us, and I'm glad that we can be here to help them.
So, Dan, you're married, yeah?
Yes,
And you've been married for quite some time now.
yeah, a little over 30 years.
And does your wife ride?
Yeah, she does. You know, I was riding, and I tried to get her to ride. I mean, she'd ride on the back of the bike, and I don't know about you, I prefer to not have
Passengers?
a passenger on the back of my bike.
Sure.
And I tried to convince her to ride. And finally, about 7, 8 years ago, she finally decided she was going to ride. She actually got on, and she was driving it and going up a hill, and she went to shift from first to second gear and hit neutral.
We've all been there.
And the bike tipped over, and I said, shit, that's it. She's never going to ride again. I misjudged her. She said she wanted a different bike, so we got her an Indian Scout. And she goes out and she puts on 3,000 miles a summer now with me. And
Oh, wow.
when I'm going to meetings and stuff, she loves to come and meet me somewhere halfway in between on the bikes.
Nice.
And we go out and do a lot of fun things on the bike together.
Right on. Let's talk about what got you into riding in the first place.
It's my parents. My dad was a avid motorcyclist. He rode his bike when he was in the service, and when he married my mom actually made him get rid of the bike when my oldest brother was born.
Okay, yeah.
And when I was a freshman in high school, my dad got back into biking, and it was my parents' vacation every summer was to go on a 2 to 3 week ride somewhere around the country on the motorcycle with their friends. My dad got me going. I started on a little Honda 70.
Sure.
Was the first bike I had, riding around on the rural gravel roads in northwest Iowa. You know, loved it, and started riding, back when I was about 13, 14, actually.
So you've been on it for a while now.
I've been on it for a while now, yes.
And what do you ride these days?
Harley-Davidson Road King.
Gotcha. Now, with the biker lawyers, we go to a lot of events. What's your favorite one every year?
I think my favorite one I go to every year may be, it may actually be ABATE U up in Minnesota. Got some great classes up there. Just getting back into the beginning of the riding season, you're seeing a bunch of people and friends that we don't see as much during the winter as we get to see during the summer. So we're all together. It's held at a great location up in Alexandria. And as long as the weather is cooperating, and it usually has been, outside, everybody's out there just hanging out all night. It's just really laid back and also very educational.
So it's kind of the first big meeting for bikers around the Midwest, especially Minnesota, kick off the season. And you get to meet everybody again that you haven't seen in a while. It's just a hell of an event.
Yeah, it's a hell of an event. A lot of fun, a lot of good people.
And what got you into ABATE in the first place?
When I joined the biker lawyers, I was not aware of ABATE, what ABATE really stood for.
Sure.
Pete told me about ABATE, told me I should look into it, see if I would be interested in it, because a lot of common brains work in the same way, and he thought it was something that I could help with, and that I would do and appreciate doing. I looked into it. I liked what ABATE was doing, what ABATE was about, and signed up, and I'm a member of both ABATE Minnesota and ABATE of Iowa. I'm also the gambling manager for ABATE of Minnesota.
So what kind of duties do they have you do as the gambling manager?
Too damn much. Minnesota's really stickler on what they have to do. I'm constantly being audited. I myself, I run 2 large raffles.
Sure.
We're going to give out this year $68,000 in prizes on one of them.
Sure.
We do two main raffles. Some of the chapters do a couple smaller ones. We do 2 main ones, including one that we give out 5 digits in cash prizes.
Sure.
We used to always do a motorcycle, but now we've actually made it all cash. Like this year, the first prize is going to be $29,999.
Very nice.
It's a $100 ticket, but it's your odds are a lot better winning that than it is lotto.
Sure, sure. And if I remember correctly, the gambling side of things is also providing for scholarships now.
Yeah, but that's a big thing. ABATE of Minnesota, the E stands for education.
Sure.
And we are supplying scholarships in Minnesota to take the basic rider course for people 20 years and younger. We can't go any older because, again, Minnesota rules are very sticklers on how we can spend our charitable money. But yeah, we this year we gave out 60 scholarships. It was $14,700 that we paid out for scholarships for young riders to educate, to make safer riders. We look, of course, we get the stats and what we do. We know and we see accidents, and there was a lot of fatalities in Minnesota this year.
Yeah.
It is absolutely shocking how many of those fatalities were 100% the fault of the biker.
Really?
Or the biker could have avoided it some way, somehow. So it was, these educational classes hopefully make everything.
Hopefully saving lives.
Saving lives, yes.
Fair, fair. Now, you're involved in ABATE. You've been doing a lot of work with them. You're helping on the gambling manager side, and you're making sure that scholarships are going out to educate and help young riders. Is there anything in particular you would like to say to the next generation of riders as they're getting going?
No.
Fair.
I wasn't ready for that. For today's young bikers, enjoy it, but be safe. You want to enjoy it for a lot of years. Take the class, learn how to properly ride your bike. It's amazing. It's amazing what a motorcycle can do. And a lot of people and a lot of accidents that we see, people don't understand what that motorcycle could have done to have avoided what happened. So, the youngsters, and we want them. We want more people riding motorcycles, and we want them riding safely. So that would be probably my big advice.
So we're in October as we're filming this, and the riding season is starting to come to a close. When does the riding season end for you up there in Minnesota?
It will end on the first snowfall.
That's usually about the time, right?
Yeah, if it's still, I can still get on the bike in December, I'll get on the bike in December. When the snow hits, my season's over.
Fair, fair. So I want to thank you for your time today, Dan. Before we sign off, I have one more question for you. We typically stay out of partisan politics here, but Hawkeyes are Cyclones.
You can go Hawks.
Fair enough. And with that, we'll thank you for joining us today. If you're in a crash in the Midwest, give us a call for your free consultation. And until next time, speak truth to power. Brought to you by the Biker Lawyers. Injured? Ride with us.